Before today's episode, I wish to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations, and recognise their continued connection to the beautiful land and sea. I'd also like to pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and I extend this acknowledgement to the traditional owners of the land my listeners are on. Welcome to Ritual the Podcast, your cottage in the woods. A sacred space for the witches, the healers, the magical folk to meet and speak of wisdom, witchery, and old world magic, where people come to learn, to hear stories, to share secrets, and to be free to be their true selves. Welcome to Ritual. Am I ready?
Are you ready?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ritual. My name is Amy Harvey, and I am excited to be back because it's been maybe, 1,000 years since I've done a podcast episode.
Couple of weeks.
Patty is here as well.
Hello, I am also present at the podcast. 1,000 years, bit of a stretch.
Close though.
Couple of weeks.
It's pretty close.
Couple of weeks.
It's been a few weeks because why?
Everything is mental. Everything is crazy.
I have been sick. Maybe literally this is the sick. I'm sick right now. 6 times in a row, non-stop. And it's just, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I'm dying.
I don't think you're dying at all. I think that there's too much beauty and goodness in you, and it just has to seep out.
Seeping out.
And that's how it comes out.
I'm over it though. So I do apologize.
Bit of a compliment there, but I mean, it can totally go on.
Lots of snot.
For all of you out there that
stop talking over the top of me.
would receive a compliment like that and you would ignore it.
I apologize for the snot and the sneezing and the general sounding like I have a sock up my nose.
And I apologize for my wife not acknowledging my compliment.
How are you, Patty?
Now?
This is going to be like a 20-minute ordeal, so you're going to have to strap in.
Well, I was good. No, I'm good. I'm really good. I'm actually, the summer was a wee bit.
Should we do we need to do a catch up because it's been a while. So what's been happening?
So I grew up.
Oh, not that far back.
Okay. Look, summer was here, and obviously we didn't really experience a lot of it because we were inside a lot.
I saw it on the outside.
But it wasn't really a big summer anyway. Like it wasn't an incredible summer. That's not the point. We were here, we were alive. But I'm liking the change. I'm liking the autumn vibes.
I love it.
I'm enjoying coming into it. I am looking at now lots of tea, lots of remember you that mulled wine you make.
Yeah, I always do that at Yule.
Yeah. Dark, I know
cozy food.
Let's talk about drinks for now. So we got tea, we've got wine, whiskey, red wine, like things like that, coziness, right? And then and hot chocolate.
Yeah, I just got this hot chocolate just to sneak in there. And it is white. It's lavender, white hot chocolate. And it is probably the best thing I've ever had. It is, actually wish I made one for this episode. I've got a bit of FOMO to my past self.
Do you want to go make?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Because nobody will notice. We can just pause it.
It's magic. No, it's so good. And I'm really glad that I discovered it. It's actually from a place in Tasmania, from a lavender farm. So it's pretty cool.
I've had it. It's good, but it's not
really your thing.
No.
It's my thing though. I love it. And the kids love it. And I feel like when I make it for them that it's like a win-win because they think it's chocolate, but it's got lavender. So I think it chills them out, but it probably doesn't. But I feel like it.
Not much does, Amy. Not much does. But anyway, back to what was I talking about?
What's
yes.
new?
Okay. So I'm loving the change in the seasons.
Yes.
I am very busy with work and with a baby and with two other babies and with this baby here,
Mm.
and the animals. But I'm feeling good. I mean, you know this. I'm very busy and I'm stressed
Yes.
a lot.
A
So
lot.
I'm looking for a way to
Find balance.
but also like because and for those of you, and I'm sure there are a lot of you who work from home now, you know, the line between work and home now is just either non-existent, either very thin or non-existent, and it's like changing. Like I'm very intense when I work because it's very fast paced and there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of people, and so that gear change between work and home has to happen somewhere.
Yes.
So I'm currently, as of this evening, we had a
We
conversation.
had words about it, didn't we?
Yes, I'm looking.
You laugh.
I'm looking for what it is that I do after work because if I'm on the phone or
maybe you need to
working,
go out the front because we have a creek out the front. Maybe you need to go out there for 5 minutes and just like have a breath without your phone.
If I still, it's like if I used to smoke, right? So if I was still a smoker, it'd be that sort of. And for those of you who do smoke, it's that moment where you go outside and you go, and you just have that moment to yourself. That
you should do something like that then, because then it's
take
like
up smoking.
No, because then it's like you're literally leaving the building and almost re-entering.
And that's what it is. It's a recalibration.
Newer and better self.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a recalibration. So, but I'm good. I'm happy. I'm a happy married man.
I'm glad.
I love you. I'm very in love with you. I love our kids. I am excited for our trip this year.
Oh my God, yes. I don't know if we've mentioned it here, but we have booked to go to Disneyland.
Disneyland.
It is so exciting. I think about it. I think nearly every minute of the waking day.
Me too.
And in my dreams.
We think about it for different reasons though.
Why?
I think about it for I see paying it off and you see it.
Oh yeah, I think of all the things I can spend money on.
Amy's like, I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna buy this. And I'm going, but I'm super psyched and I cannot wait to go.
I feel like I'm just gonna cry the whole time because the kids are gonna be so excited, and so anytime anything happens and they react to it, I'll just cry from joy.
What have we got? We got 6 nights at Disneyland. We've got 4 days in the park, and then we're going to spend a bit of time in Venice Beach, and we're going to go to Universal.
Yeah, it's just like
Studios,
a fun holiday that we have been thinking about since lockdown. Yeah,
but it's like for a chance for us to actually unleash our inner children, because whenever you're a parent, you don't usually. Sometimes you don't get to be a child.
No.
And we are kids.
And if I feel like if you're going to do it, you need to do it 100%. Totally. And just like let your inner freak fly. So
totally.
Inner freak flag.
Fly. Just fly your freak flag. Fly your freak flag. Fly your freak flag.
So I'm so excited for that.
So like, you know, yes, you could stay off site at one of the hotels, motels down the road and walk, and that's totally fine if you want to do that. We're going to stay at Disneyland
the full experience.
Yeah,
we're sleeping in the Disney beds. We're having the walls have got fireworks that light up.
We've got a view of downtown Disney.
The lights are held by Mickey hands. Like holy shit.
We got a downtown Disney view room.
It's literally like I am so happy.
I'm excited, and I'm really every day that I wake up, and I think there's times recently where I've been feeling a bit maybe overwhelmed with things, and I go, just can't wait to go.
Totally.
It's going to be great, and I'm excited, and the kids are excited.
It's going to be great. Disney song.
Take her. The kids are excited, which is
They're
great.
so excited.
Poet has no idea. He doesn't even know. He just discovered his hands.
He
doesn't have a clue.
discover his hands, and he's excited about that, and that's all that matters. But
That's
he
all that matters.
will be. He actually likes watching Mickey Mouse, the show. Like he just stares at it.
He'll be 9 months by then.
I feel like when we go, oh, see, I'm gonna cry about that too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I will cry as well because he gets very excited when he sees Mickey and Winnie the Pooh.
yeah, and I think that when he sees them in real life, it's just going to be next level.
Really cute. So yes, all in all, I am well.
To conclude,
I am happy. I could be doing a bit more for my stress. And this is the thing, again, if you work at home, your partner, your spouse, your whoever, they see you in a way that, you know, they're not really meant to see you, which is like there was some stuff happened the other day, and I was going, I'm just talking to myself.
Patty
and he
was
like,
in beast
"Are
mode.
you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then she's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "But you're not meant to see me like this. You're meant to see me go out
The thing is,
and then come home, and then I meant to say, yeah, it got a bit stressful there, but then everything was fine."
but you like wander around and you're in my space, and
No,
so
I'm in our space.
it's like
It's our house.
It's like if you're going to bring that like energy near me, either explain yourself
No.
or get out
You
of my
want to
face.
go. So anyway, there's this guy in New Zealand that we work with, and
Dot points.
there's a project from
Dot
7
points.
months ago that is actually now doing this, and this happened within that. And the person who's related to that
This is
it's
not
too much.
interesting to me.
It's exactly. Anyway, Amy, how have you been?
I've been better. I mean, I have to do. I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. I've been good. What have I got to tell you? My brain is a sieve, and I literally can't remember anything. I have to. If I have a thought, this is no joke. If I have a thought, I have to immediately make a note in my phone.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember anything, and I blame being pregnant now and having another baby. I'm not pregnant now, but I mean, I just had a baby, and I feel like that completely ruined my brain. So the reason I'm saying that is I can't remember what I've been doing. I know that we had Mabin, and that was fun.
I was actually really
I actually
beautiful.
can't remember what we did for it.
We had chicken pie.
Yes,
and apple
pie, and it was delicious.
Yep. And what else did we do?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
It was on, and it was great. And now we're stepping into Samhain, and I'm so excited for it. And I've already started seeing all the creepy things in the corners of my eyes. I heard someone yelling in the house last night, and I stormed up and told off my children, and they looked at me like I was insane because it wasn't them. But I'm really excited because I love Samhain season and all the magic that comes with it. So I'm super pumped for that. If you're watching this and you keep seeing me look over at this one point, it's because I'm looking at the baby monitor. Hello.
Oh, there it is.
Yummies.
You can see it from that angle.
But yeah, and now I'm just getting ready because the Samhain ritual boxes come out on Friday, which is very exciting. And it's school holidays tomorrow. From tomorrow. So I planned that really well. But that's fun. That's what alcohol is for.
What?
No, I'm good though. I am good. I just want to get healthy again. And yeah,
look, I must admit, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and this is for all the partners and fellas out there who haven't given birth. Is anytime we've had a child, which has now been thrice, I have just gained weight along with you, and then you have the baby, and then you lose all the weight, and I'm just left floating. Forever floating. And I'm like, I need to lose the baby weight, because you go into the cocoon,
totally.
And I've been doing a lot of I've been doing the nighttime feeds, because Amy's got this
I've
condition.
developed this thing where I used to be like an amazing sleeper, where literally as soon as
my
head hits the pillow, I'm gone. No matter when, no matter how, I could just sleep. But for some reason, I don't even know when this really started.
It was as soon as he was, maybe 3 weeks after he was born.
No, it started when I was pregnant with him.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. If I wake up in the night, I cannot get back to sleep at all. And so when he was like a newborn and I would do the like 2, 3, 4 o'clock wake up with him, that was it. I just could not get back to sleep at all. And so I would end up being awake from 2 o'clock in the morning all day and all night.
And when you don't sleep,
and when I don't sleep, it's a massive trigger for my anxiety. And but I find it's like a trigger for my deepest anxiety. Like I feel
everything's
like you have triggers that set off different levels of anxiety, where this is like beast mode anxiety,
like DEFCON 1.
And I'm just like, everything makes me hyper emotional. Everything is super negative, and I am not my best self. And so, yeah. What were we talking about?
Well, I was talking about being up at nighttime.
Yes.
Because I was doing the night feeds.
Yes. So yeah, I still don't know what we're talking about.
Well, because it was my story.
What were we talking about? This is what I mean.
So the thing was, so Amy has that horrible condition, and obviously we want Amy being the best version of her she can be. And to be honest, I've been tired for about 10 years anyway. So
what difference?
Does it make? So for a while there, I was on Poet's Floor,
helping out
and like
sister.
Getting up during the night, and then now I've come back down to the bedroom, which is great because I get to sleep with my wife. He's a
pretty good sleeper, but he is not amazing at the moment.
No,
if you're a parent and you follow the Wonder Weeks, we're in Leap 4 and it's not fun.
It's hell. But that said, it lulls you into a false insecurity where the baby goes, 11 till 6, they sleep. And then all of a sudden they're up twice a night. Anyway.
Oh, sorry.
No,
there you go.
No.
I will say one thing that we did recently was that we went to Golden Beach, which the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because if you had listened to the episode a few back where we talk about Poet's like birth story, and when we talk about losing a baby, you know that all happened in Golden Beach.
At the same house?
At the same house. Yeah. So we actually went back to the same place. One, because it's a really cute place and it's like perfect position and whatever, but I really wanted to change the memory from being one that was extremely horrible to a positive experience. And it was almost, I guess, like a therapeutic kind of healing thing as well, because we were going back with our baby who had been born and was healthy and thriving, as opposed to when we were there and obviously losing a baby while we were there. And I think it was like a little bit difficult in some instances because it was almost like you were stepping back in time, like seeing certain places where I remember like crying or something was happening, or like we were driving into town and we saw the sign for the hospital where we had to go for me to get checked. So there was like little moments like that I found quite difficult, but I feel like once we checked off everything, it was almost like this, like I said, like a healing exercise where a little bit of that weight was lifted off, because you're like, that was then and this is now. And it ended up being the best holiday ever. Like we had such a nice time. And now I only look at it, I mean, obviously that memory is there, but I see it as such a positive place, or we could go with our whole complete family. And yeah, it was really nice.
It was nice. It was really good. And it definitely did sort of flip the narrative on what memories we had there. And to be honest, it's one of those things that you go, well, you're not trying to force yourself to forget, because
No, never forget.
that person was here for a moment.
And they always matter.
100%. But it was good to go back and be relaxed and be happy and
have the holiday that we were meant to have.
And have the holiday we were meant to have. We were meant to be there for 7 nights. We were there for 2 and then left. And yeah, it was good.
It was
really
really
good.
good.
But sorry, I do want to change gears because I know we're going to get the story time.
Yeah, I know.
But the
This
reason
has basically
why
just been a whole episode.
I was talking about feeding Poe at nighttime was because I have also heard stuff
Oh my God,
in the lead up to Samhain as well. And so in his room we have the noise machine. So I'll that
Oh no, it's running out of battery.
running the battery. But this noise, that's it's like a river or something like that on a noise machine.
And it's
And
actually called a brook.
A babbling brook. So at night, but what happens is, with white noise, you hear things within it,
because
and so
it pushes your brain into
a different
frequency.
So I had it in our room so I'll feed him that like at about half 11 at night, go down to bed and have the thing on beside me, and I was falling asleep the other night and I heard, I think whispering, and I'm like, and then I kind of came to and went, that was weird. Fell asleep, and as I was falling asleep,
you were
happened
in
again.
In between,
and it happened again. That's going to be very annoying.
Get the charger in a sec.
And then I also had it in his room the other night, and it was about 3 a.m, and I was sitting there, and the noise machine was to my left, and my head was on the wall on the right. And the noise going into my left was different to the noise going into my right, because it's obviously bouncing off the wall. But there was some voice or in my right ear, but not in my left, coming from the machine. And I'm sitting there feeding him in the dark. And I was like,
it's spooky.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I walked in the other day.
It didn't feel bad, though. It didn't feel like negative or like, I didn't feel scared.
No.
I just felt like, I was more like,
fearful,
come
but a bit
on.
creeped out.
It was more like, come on.
I had someone shush me the other day when I walked in. Someone went, shh, like I was interrupting him. And also, like when the door is
half ajar,
you can see almost like someone peering through to like check to see what you're doing. Ooh, which is a little bit creepy.
I blame a lot on my glasses.
I don't wear glasses,
but you don't wear glasses. Now, do you want to? Because I'm stuck in here. Do you want to get it, or do you want me to?
I'm scared now.
Okay, so we're going to take a tiny little break, and we're going to come back
with a charger for the monitor. Ready, go.
Okay, ready and go. And
oh my gosh,
go.
Hey everyone, I'm just going to pause today's episode for a moment. I hope you're enjoying it. It sounds super interesting. If you're enjoying this podcast and you're thinking, hey, how could I support this show? Then the best way to do that is to jump over to Patreon and become one of my patrons, where you'll get access to additional content, videos, bonus episodes of Ritual with Amy Harvey, that is me, learning tools to help you on your witchy path, and special discounts to my online store, rosethorncottage.com. Take it away, voiceover guy.
That's right, simply head to patreon.com/Rosethorn Cottage to get all the goodies and support your favourite podcast in the entire world, Ritual with Amy Harvey. Now, back to the show.
And we're back. If you're watching this, Paddy has something on his head.
Do I?
I don't know what's going on.
Plug.
Anyway, should we get to this podcast?
Let's
back to,
do
the
this.
actual reason why we're here.
Yes, Amy is prepared.
Yes. So the theme
feast for the ears.
The theme of this afternoon's episode.
And I have prepared a feast for the eyes.
We are doing stories about famous witches in history. Now, when I say someone didn't do their assignment, you can guess who it was. I'll give you a clue. It wasn't me. It was
Poet.
Patty did not come prepared with a story tonight.
I have been extremely overwhelmed with work.
Everyone's been busy.
Busyness.
Everyone's been busy. That's okay.
This is your work, though.
Listen, if you want to point fingers and make excuses, then that's on you.
This is not work to me. It's a pleasure. All right. And I had no time for pleasure.
So it will just be me telling a story tonight. So you'll just have to get cozy, and I'm sure Patty will provide the witty banter.
We spoke about this.
Are we ready?
Yeah. We also spoke about this. All right.
What are we talking about?
We said it was fine.
That it was fine. Did I say it like I meant it?
You said that was
fine. It's sure. Anyway.
You're actually, all you're doing is making it like your story's not good enough to carry the show.
No, I know it is.
That you're like, oh, we needed Patty's story.
No, we didn't.
But if you were like, you know what, don't even need your story.
It's just, I guess, about who puts effort in.
I put effort in.
Do you?
I'm the producer of this.
What's your story
podcast.
about? Oh, no, wait, you didn't do one.
I'm the producer of this podcast.
Anyway, today,
guys, if you ever feel like your partner or spouse is trying to put you spouse, whatever, however that word is pronounced. If you ever feel,
who says spouse?
Like your partner is trying to put you down and make you feel like
it's not
what you do isn't worth anything,
then you should get rid of that spouse.
Then call me, all right, and we can have a chat about it. And if you want, message Amy and I will give you my phone number. Please and we can talk.
I don't want this.
I would love to talk.
Can I start, please?
Let's start the episode.
So today we will be traveling back in time, obviously, because we're talking about history, to 1798.
Oh, yeah.
And we will be talking about a witch called Biddie Early. Now, Biddie is from Ireland. So this whole story is all situated in Ireland. Have you heard of her?
Biddie Early.
Biddie Early.
No.
Oh. So she was born, like I said, in 1798. And her original name was Biddie O'Connor. And she was born in, I'm sorry if I butcher these names, I will try, but I'll probably get you to say it. In Faha, Killarina.
What?
Faha, Killarina.
What's that?
In Ireland.
Faha.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really? Sounds
You're
like
from there.
It's like a Turkish name.
It could be that, or it could be that I didn't write this properly and can't read my writing. I will also say that I don't know what happened to me when I was writing this story.
Why have you scribbled everything out?
It goes.
There's arrows and asterisks and like scribbles.
It goes paragraph, then it goes to the side of the page, and then it actually goes over here.
It's like,
so if this story isn't in order, it's just that's just how we're gonna do it.
Grin and bear it, all right? It's fun.
Anyway, this is a very
my wife
professional podcast, and I will get back to my deep research.
Busy person. She's got things to do.
So Biddie O'Connor was born the daughter of John and Ellen O'Connor, who were a poor farming family. She was a child that spent a lot of time alone. She was always said to be wandering the woods and was known to talk to fairies.
Aww.
She was said to be incredibly intelligent, good-humored, and although she couldn't, I'm like this because I'm reading my writing on the side. Although
She couldn't read or write, but she was said to be very intelligent because obviously back in those days, women weren't really taught that. I guess most
think
people
there's
weren't.
a lot of kids were just probably put to work.
Well, that's what happened is that when she was 16, she was actually sent to be a servant girl to go and earn money for her family. And so she was sent to all different places, but she actually went to a doctor in Kilbarron. And so she was sent away. Obviously, that was away from where her family was.
The doctor's name was Pat O'Malley.
No, it wasn't. Sorry.
It was Pat O'Malley.
No, it wasn't. So when she moved to Kilbarron, do you know where that is?
No.
She was often taunted for her aloof behavior. She was said to kind of be very, what's the word?
Like Luna?
Like Luna. That's exactly how I think of her, like Luna from Harry Potter. Very spacey, kind of literally away with the fairies in her own world. And so people didn't really like that about her. And when she was working for the doctor, and obviously a lot of the money was being sent to her family. So she lived a lot of her time in a local poorhouse where she was said to have been treated extremely poorly and really badly, which is horrible. She's only 16 at this point. So she would often walk into the local town on the market day, and it was during this journey that she met Pat O'Malley. Pat was twice her age, and he already had a son, but they were soon married. And Biddie gave birth to her own son, or their son together, called Paddy. What an amazing name.
Thank you. As a fellow Paddy, I must say that being called Paddy is actually quite lovely.
I'm really happy for you.
Did they call him Patrick and he was called Paddy?
No, he was called Paddy.
He was called Paddy?
With 2 Ds, just like you.
Isn't that brilliant?
I know. The family lived in a 3-bedroom cottage in Fecal. Do you know what Fecal is?
I'm sorry.
I know it's a horrible name.
Like fecal matter?
As in F-E-A-K-L.
Imagine you lived in fecal manner.
F-E-A-K-L-E.
Imagine you lived in fecal manner.
I know.
And it was like, sorry, how do you spell it?
F-E-A-K-L. Why can't I talk? F-E-A-K-L-E. Fecal.
A village in the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah. Whereabouts is it near?
It's in County Clare.
Where's that?
In Munster. It's hold on.
Middle, upper, lower. I'm just trying to orientate myself.
Right in the middle. Well, like, so north of Limerick.
Where's Galway? This is probably really boring for people who are listening, but
I think there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So while they were living there, Biddie began to earn a reputation for her herbal cures, which she actually learnt from her mother. Her mother was known to concoct these herbal cures for people, but Biddie started to become quite famous for them. She never requested money for her work and would often let people decide how they would compensate her. So during this time, whiskey and poaching, which is also like known as Irish moonshine.
It's like potato spirits. So it's like, if you imagine American moonshine,
it would taste rank. I feel.
So sidebar here. My uncle Packy in County Tyrone, we went to visit him whenever I was about 12, and so all my mummy's family are from Tyrone, right on the border of Northern Ireland and Donegal, like so Castlederg area, and Uncle Packy's farm, he lived on about 30 acres, and anyway, my dad and my brother were asked to clean out the front room, and I was only a kid, and I wanted to go fishing anyway, so I bought a fishing license for the day, and there was all trout and everything around there, so I was going to go and do that. But I remember my Uncle Packy found an old bottle of poaching, and it had been sitting there for God knows how long, and there was green fungus around the
Ew.
lip of it. But
He
he
didn't
took,
drink it,
he
did
took,
he?
he did.
Oh my
He
God.
this guy was unbelievable.
I guess
He
it's
was,
like pure alcohol, isn't it?
yes, and he was. Paggy was amazing. Oh, we should do a full episode just on him. He was unbelievable. He was my mummy's uncle. But he grabbed it and he goes, "What's this here? Oh, must be about a buck and poutine." And he just took a swig of it and he goes, "Ah, ah." And that was his lot. And it had been sitting there for, I'd say, a good 15 years or 20 years or something like that.
Plus the
And he
rest.
drank it. But but it's made out of potatoes. So it's
That's
like
so
distilled
funny.
potatoes.
Ugh. So yeah, anyway, whiskey and poachine were often used and gifted. So their house was always fully stocked with alcohol, and they were known as a place you could go to like drink and play cards. It was kind of like the party house.
And that's where open house came from. A pub, a public house.
That's what her
So you would
house
have
was
like,
known as.
and that's why whenever we were in Ireland, and you remember like the rows of like houses, and then there'd be like a harp sign, a beer sign coming off one of the houses, and that was a pub
But that was what her house was
because it was a
basically
public
like.
house, and that's what they called the publican and the landlady or the landlord because they owned the house.
That's so cool.
Hmm.
So when Biddie was 25, Pat died, leaving Biddie a single mum and a widow. Not what you want to be back in those times.
So he was 50.
Yeah. Soon after, she married her stepson, John. Yeah.
Okay.
During her time married to him, her fame as a witch grew and grew, and she was known as this amazing healer. She could break curses. People went to her for all sorts of things. But her family life was very disruptive due to the large numbers of people that would always frequent her house, to the point where her son, Paddy, left and never returned. So obviously their relationship was quite, what's the word?
Tumultuous.
Yeah. And I think I remember reading that also he had a real issue with the fact that she married her stepson, which would have been really weird.
His brother.
So that wouldn't have helped things. And then, so yeah, he left and he never returned, and she never heard from him again, which is a bit sad. So in 1984, John died from a liver ailment, which is probably not shocking.
Probably due from drinking all the poaching.
That's right. And Biddie was a widow once more at the age of 42.
Right.
They were together for quite a while.
Mm.
She then remarried a man called Tom Flannery, who was said to be much younger than her. And they lived in a cottage together in Dromore Hill in Kelbarron. It was situated over a lake, which is actually now known as Biddie Early's Lake, which is really nice. Let me just see. Where's this bit I wanted to talk about? Sorry. Again, my notes are all over the place. Okay, cool. So as the years went on, when people couldn't be cured or find what they needed from doctors, people would always travel miles and miles to see Biddie. Not only was she able to use herbal medicine and make all these amazing cures and concoctions for people, but she was also incredibly intuitive and was able to recognize and understand people's needs on a much deeper level than anybody else. She was also known for healing animals and would often be able to get farm animals who had stopped producing things like milk and eggs to start reproducing again.
Wow.
So farmers, because like back then that was life or death.
She's
like if people
really empathetic as well.
If people's animals weren't producing, they would die in the winter. They would literally starve. So
they could feel almost like she was empathetic.
They felt safe around her.
She could communicate with them on that level.
She was just known to have this amazing intuition with people and would know what people needed, even when they didn't know themselves.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Is that one of the children? It's Poppy. We just had to have a quick break. Oh, hello, Audrey. A quick break because Poppy was making some kind of weird possessed noise upstairs. She was dreaming. But the thing about Poppy is that she's very dramatic.
And we never know what to believe.
We don't know if she's being real or if it's an act.
The
It sounds really horrible.
The fuck thing is that there was all the noises and I went upstairs to check and nobody was moving. And I went, okay, obviously a skin crawler's up here.
And he sent me up.
And then I saw it was Poppy and I was like, Poppy, are you okay? And she didn't wake up. And I'm like, well, I don't want to freak her out and like wake her up in the middle of a nightmare. So I came down and then she started going,
It was a bit weird. Anyway.
It was a bit bizarre.
So back to Biddie.
Biddie early.
So it was at this point that she came to own a bottle that made her the most famous. What she was most famous for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes total sense. Yeah.
It was called the Blue Bottle. And she was always said to be with this bottle. It was always on her all the time. And it contained this dark liquid. They say that the bottle was gifted to her from the Fae, and it gave her the ability to see into the future. So I'm assuming that the black liquid meant she would scry with it, is what I'm getting. But that's what she was known for. People would go to her and she would be able to tell them what was going to come, and her predictions would always come to fruition and always come true. And it was actually said that she was buried with the bottle, although I did see one story that said she was was going to be buried, but when it actually came time to bury her, the bottle was gone, and they say that the Fae took it back because she was only borrowing it.
Fair enough.
Which is kind of cool. So Biddie was always known for her big personality, and it was widely known, and this may shock you, that the Catholic Church disapproved of Biddie and her magic. They openly discouraged people from visiting her, and it was thought that the main reason why the priests didn't like her is because of financial reasons, in that so many people would go to her, and I guess maybe they weren't getting the cut from the doctors and all that. And
they weren't paying her though, were they?
No, people didn't pay her, but some people pay.
But
she
people
said
weren't going to
you
mass.
can pay whatever you want.
But people weren't going to mass and doing their offerings.
Exactly. And so they weren't happy about that.
And for those of you who are in the Catholic Church or have been in a past life, you'll know that they passed the bull round twice during mass, your offerings for the parish. That's right.
So they didn't like her because of that. However, the priest,
because it's not a business or anything. The Catholic Church. It's not like it's a business.
Of course it's not.
It's not like they're trying to make money off people and their beliefs.
It's not like the leaders of the Catholic Church are rolling in money.
It's not like they're the richest organization on earth.
One of them. That's a different episode. Anyway, funnily enough, though, the priest would secretly visit her in the night.
What for advice?
For like cures and ailments.
They're like, this whole thing is not working on my end. I'm wondering if perhaps
isn't that so funny?
You've got a fix. But also, let's not forget, 1700s, there was still many people that have had survived the steamroller that was Christianity, and they were still practicing the old ways. And so there was probably priests that were, privy to the old ways through relatives or whatever. They had been, whether pushed or whatever way, indoctrinated into the Catholic Church, become priests. And then they're like, maybe I'm having doubts about my faith, and maybe she is right. Or, maybe it's, my great auntie telling me about
the thing
healing and things like that.
They openly discouraged people because they probably were told to, but they secretly went because they probably believed that what she was doing was obviously working. But don't forget as well, this is in the 1800s, so not really that long ago, there was the burning times of witches. So it was still fresh, which is what I'm about to get into as well. So that was still witches were evil time. So in saying that, in 1865, Biddie was accused of witchcraft under the Witchcraft Act of 1586. She was brought before a court, but the people who were to testify against her, every single one of them backed out because she was so well respected. And she ended up being released due to insufficient evidence, which I think is
amazing?
So good, because usually people would be like, she's a witch, she's a witch.
What an incredible, she must have been
she was so
an incredible person for people to
stand up against a force like
but
that.
then stand down like that. Like, what an incredible person she must have been.
I can only imagine the pressure they would have felt to testify against her. So I think that as a collective, them all going, no, I'm not going to, would have been really difficult, because I'm sure there would have been some kind of like ramification
there would have been a repercussion
for them and their
for
families.
Yeah, totally.
But she was just so well respected, and she had helped so many people that people like, there's absolutely no way in hell we're gonna go against her.
That's great.
You know what she makes me think of? One of the aunts in Practical Magic. If you've read all the books and you have more of a like backstory of who they are, you probably get more of it. But they basically there were these two old ladies who lived in their beautiful, perfect house that I want, that would turn a light bulb on the porch every night to let people know that if you wanted to go and get help, they were ready for you. And people would secretly knock on the door, because everyone was like, they're witches, they're evil. But at nighttime, they would go and knock on the door and go, I need help with this. And they would say, you don't have to pay us, you just have to pay what you think. So they would end up with food and all these things. And they were just known for all their magical cures and stuff. And that's literally what I think of. I think she is one of the Owens aunts. 100%. And they were sassy.
And that idea of, publicly there's someone we should shun and shame, but I've got too much respect for that person to actually do it. There was a film, it was kind of like that, and it was about in America, and it was about like a black person who was really respected by the community, and then so nobody spoke against them or something like that. There's a film, whenever you mentioned that, and it was just kind of like, there was like, oh, they should all speak against this person, but they're like, I can't say anything bad about them, so I'm just not going to say a word because they're too nice of a person.
I'm thinking of Miracle on 34th Street.
The Crawdads was kind of like that, wasn't it? Like,
no, not really.
There's a film. There is a film.
There is,
and I know there is a film.
So yes, so she was released due to insufficient evidence. So big win for the people. In 1868, Tom Flannery died, who is third husband, leaving Biddie a widow once more at the age of 70.
They didn't turn around and go,
why do your husbands keep killing these husbands? That was my suspicion, which we'll get into in a second. So that was in 1868. In 1869, she was married for the fourth time.
How old was she?
She was 71 now.
Horny fucking...
And she married Thomas Meany, who was 30, in exchange for a cure. So she said to him,
what a hornball.
I will give you a cure for whatever ailment he had, but you have to marry me.
She's horny.
And so they lived in her cottage until he died a year later from overconsumption of alcohol.
So they all drank themselves to death.
Yeah, pretty
I'm actually starting to think now maybe she should have been, hauled above in front of a jury.
There was something going on there.
Like, a lot of people go marry once, marry twice. Not a lot of people have all their husbands die of alcohol poisoning. Especially like whenever she's 70 odd and the 30 odd year old husband dies A year
A
later.
year later.
He's
and
like,
she's 7.
I'm fucking sick of you, Biddie. I'm just
Like-
in here having a drink.
Good on her.
And then she's like,
I'm sick of you.
you drink. And he's like, and then he just dies.
Pretty much that's what happened.
How old was he?
He was 30.
Jesus Christ.
I know. So in 1874, Biddie died and was buried in fecal graveyard. And it was
In
said,
fecal matter.
I know, wish that's what she became.
He was buried in fecal matter.
And it was said that there were 27 priests present for her funeral.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You only usually get one.
I know, 27. So that was Biddie early. And so you can actually go and visit, obviously, her gravesite, but there's like, I think her cottage is like a historical site, and the lake, obviously, over in Ireland, which would be kind of cool.
27
She's a badass.
priests.
She's a badass witch.
27 priests.
27. That's how much of an impact she made.
And that just goes to show you. Sure didn't Queen Elizabeth or Victoria, was it Elizabeth? Used to have a druid.
She had John Dee, which funnily enough, we're going to be talking about in a separate episode for my Patreons.
Oh.
So I'm not going to go too much.
Well, I
into
guess we're not
that.
going to talk about that because
was a good little segue.
you don't get
You don't get
access
to
to
listen.
that. That was really good, Amy.
Yeah,
Well
Biddie
done.
early. She's
To be
cool.
honest, I didn't need to do a story because we had a 45-minute
Chit-chat.
introduction, and then we had this, and I feel like that was pretty good.
You would say that though if you hadn't done a story.
Shut your mouth.
But yeah, we'll do another one of them. I mean, we've got too many things coming up. We've got a spooky episode coming up for Samhain soon,
Yes.
which will be fun. Do you remember the theme?
Yeah.
What is it?
Spooky.
What kind of spooky,
Thanks for joining us.
It's going to be on possessions,
Oh yeah.
not like the things you own, like the things that own you. They actually freak me out. Possessions, especially when you hear like video footage. I always feel like it's going to jump from that person into
Especially
me.
whenever that person is speaking like a language
Latin.
that doesn't exist anymore, like Aramaic or something like that.
Possessions freak me out.
Mm.
Anyway, so that'll be a good episode. But yeah.
Is that the one we're going to do live?
Yes, we are.
We're going to do that live with all the patrons from
we
Patreon.
are, so they can watch what actually happens and what bits we usually edit out.
Which isn't a lot, but there
No,
is
it's not a
usually
lot.
ones where, Amy has to go and get another drink.
that.
Because that's definitely not water. And then get more tissues.
Give me my goblet.
Get more tissues.
Yeah, hopefully I'm
Um,
not sick for that one.
But
Probably.
yeah, we're gonna do that live. From New York.
It's Saturday night. But yeah, that'll be fun. And yeah,
Great.
so thank you for joining me as per usual.
Yeah, thanks for joining me too, and lovely to meet you, Amy. Always a pleasure to meet you for
And
the first
if
time.
you're a Patreon, you should jump on over and listen because there's another episode that's about to happen for you.
Yeah. Would you call them Patreons or call them
Patreons.
patrons?
Patreon is,
No,
I don't know.
are they called?
I don't know what they're called. The Patreon, Patronus.
Patronus?
They're the Patronus.
Let's call them
The Patronus charms.
Yeah, charmings. Yeah, there's another episode coming. You. After.
Anyway, thank you
Okay.
so much for listening. And we think you're awesome.
Well, I do.
I'm sorry for my sneezing and snorting. I'm going to sneeze now. It's stuck. What a way to end. Anyway. It's stuck in my face. I can't sneeze.
So
Thank you so much for listening.
love that you commentate the sneeze. Okay, it's coming. Everyone, it's coming. It's gonna happen.
Also, if
It's coming. It's stuck. It's
if you
it's stuck up my
enjoyed
nose.
this episode, but maybe go back to the other episodes and go off that one, you should leave a review.
You've got so much snot
No, I'm
on your
so
face.
snotty. Oh my god.
What did you ask for?
I said if you enjoy, you should leave a review.
Oh,
I mean,
reviews are
good
good.
fun.
So reviews are good. So here's the thing. So this podcast actually rates extremely highly in countries like Australia, New Zealand, America, the UK, and for some bizarre reason, South Africa.
I love South African accent, so
so-
I'm happy with that.
So leave us a review, because what that does is that actually boosts the show in the ratings. And also Amy is usually, this podcast is usually within the top 200 on the iTunes charts with spirituality and religion and spirituality, which is incredible.
I was
because
12 the other day.
yeah, well, you've been won many times.
This is exciting.
And Amy was, I think she was in New Zealand. I think you were around about 7 for quite a long period of time.
Thank you, my Kiwi friends.
Chirper. So rate and like and subscribe and share and everything, because it does
It
help
means a lot.
the popularity of the podcast. You know, Amy's obviously, no one's trying to make money off this. It's just content
It's
that's
just
free.
for fun and magical wisdom.
But it does further enable Amy to sort of
Reach more witchy minds.
if you would stop finishing my sentences, you can have your own. Reach more witchy minds.
Thank
And
you.
also just normalize witchcraft and what it is and what it stands for, because I think that's pretty much the core mission of
Yeah.
Rosethorn Cottage and Amy, is just to normalize this and make it a normal everyday sort of thing for people who have that faith and that belief, because why shouldn't it be? Why shouldn't it be
Agreed.
normal?
And also for the people who have always been interested but too scared. They matter too.
Yeah.
Mm.
You too could be like Amy, sitting here
In a mushroom
in a
cottage,
mushroom cardigan.
drinking from a goblet.
And who knows what she's drinking. It's clear and it's white, but it's pretty much
that
not water.
poaching. It's disgusting.
I know. Pray for me, children.
Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful night, evening, morning, afternoon, mid-morning, whenever you're listening to this, and always watch the skies.
Watch the skies tonight, Thursday, which you should be hearing this, is full moon.
It's
so
Wednesday, and that's tomorrow.
But the podcast
yeah,
is being
it's
released on Thursday. I love you,
Sorry,
but yeah. So Thursday, the episode, the day that this episode is getting released, is a full moon. So have a wonderful full moon.
Yes.
Do whatever you do, and be
Do
whatever
it
you
well.
be, and do it well. I love you,
And I love you too.
and I love all of you listeners out there and watchers. You perverts. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
That's it. You want to say, like, want to go?
Bye.
Oh, that's better.